What happens when a second-generation superstar decides to call out the most legendary figure in wrestling history? Bron Breakker just did the unthinkable, and the message he sent to The Undertaker has the entire wrestling world in absolute shock. This isn't just bold, this is impossible. What's up, Wrestling-verse family? Welcome back to the channel where we break down the biggest moments, the most shocking callouts, and the matches that could change everything. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon because you do not want to miss what we're covering today. Before we dive into this absolutely insane moment, let's talk about the man behind the madness, Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker isn't just any superstar. This man has wrestling royalty running through his veins. As a second-generation wrestler and part of the legendary Steiner family, Bron has been turning heads since day one. We're talking about a powerhouse athlete who combines raw strength, explosive agility, and that old-school intensity that fans have been craving. From his dominant championship reigns to his incredible in-ring performances, Breakker has proven time and time again that he's not just riding on his family name, he's building his own legacy. This guy has been compared to some of the greatest powerhouse wrestlers of all time, and honestly, he's living up to every bit of that hype. But what makes Bron truly special is his fearless attitude. This isn't a guy who backs down from anyone. He brings an intensity to every match that reminds us of the Attitude Era greats. And now he's setting his sights on the absolute pinnacle of wrestling legends. Now, let's talk about the man who Bron Breakker is calling out. The Phenom, the Deadman, The Undertaker. For over 3 decades, The Undertaker has been the measuring stick of greatness in professional wrestling. We're talking about a man who has held championships, headlined WrestleManias, and created moments that are burned into wrestling history forever. The Undertaker isn't just a wrestler, he's an icon. From his supernatural character to his unmatched presence, he's someone that superstars don't just challenge lightly. The aura, the mystique, the fear that the Deadman brings to the ring is something that has made careers and ended them just as quickly. In the locker room, there's a level of respect for The Undertaker that transcends anything we see in modern wrestling. Veterans and newcomers alike understand that when you mention his name, you're talking about greatness personified. So when someone like Bron Breakker decides to call him out, the entire wrestling world stops and pays attention. So here's where things get absolutely wild, Wrestling-verse family. Bron Breakker didn't just make a simple challenge. No. This man issued a brutal, no-holds-barred message that sent shockwaves through the entire industry. We're talking about a direct, unfiltered call-out to one of the most respected figures in wrestling history. But here's what makes this impossible. Bron is proposing something that fans have dreamed about but never thought would happen. A one-on-one encounter. Inside a steel cage. With absolutely no rules. Let that sink in for a second. A cage match with no disqualifications, no count-outs, no way to run, and no way to hide. This is the kind of match where legends are born and careers are defined. In his message, Bron made it crystal clear. He's not asking for permission, he's not waiting for approval, he's demanding this opportunity. The confidence, the audacity, the pure guts it takes to stand up and call out The Undertaker like this. That's what separates the contenders from the champions. Bron talked about proving that the new generation isn't just here to respect the legends, they're here to surpass them. He spoke about showing the world that he has what it takes to stand toe-to-toe with the greatest of all time. And in a cage match with no rules. That's where warriors are truly tested. Now, why are we calling this impossible? Because throughout wrestling history, very few superstars have had the courage to directly challenge The Undertaker like this. And those who have, let's just say the Deadman has a very convincing track record. For Bron to step up and make this challenge shows either incredible confidence or, well, we'll see. Let's break down what makes this proposed match so absolutely brutal. A steel cage match is already one of the most punishing match types in wrestling. You're surrounded by unforgiving steel, nowhere to escape, and victory only comes through total domination. This isn't about pretty moves or technical wrestling. This is about survival. But add the no rules stipulation. Now we're in a completely different territory. No disqualifications means anything goes. Weapons, foreign objects, whatever it takes to win. This is the kind of match where you leave everything in the ring. Your pride, your body, and sometimes even your career. Throughout wrestling history, cage matches with no rules have produced some of the most memorable and brutal moments we've ever witnessed. These are the matches that fans talk about for decades. The kind of match where both competitors prove they're willing to sacrifice everything for victory. For Bron Breakker to specifically request this type of match against The Undertaker, it shows he's not just looking for a photo opportunity or a moment in the spotlight. He wants to prove himself in the most definitive way possible. No excuses, no interference, just two warriors settling it in the most brutal environment imaginable. The wrestling community has erupted over this challenge. From social media to wrestling forums, fans are divided. Some are saying Bron has lost his mind challenging The Undertaker. Others are saying this is exactly the kind of bold move that the wrestling world needs. The debate is intense, and everyone has an opinion. Some fans are questioning whether this shows respect or disrespect to The Undertaker's legacy. Is Bron trying to build his name by challenging a legend? Or is he showing the ultimate respect by wanting to test himself against the absolute best? But here's what everyone agrees on. If this match somehow happens, it would be an instant classic. The power and intensity of Bron Breakker against the experience and legendary status of The Undertaker. In a cage with no rules. That's the kind of match that would break the internet. Wrestling insiders and veterans have been weighing in too. Some are calling Bron's confidence refreshing, while others are warning him about the consequences of calling out the Phenom. One thing's for sure, this has everyone talking. So the big question on everyone's mind, what happens next? Will The Undertaker respond to this challenge? The dead man has been selective about his appearances in recent years, but a call out this direct and this bold. That's hard to ignore. If there's one thing we know about The Undertaker, it's that he's never backed down from a challenge. For Bron Breakker, this message has put him in an interesting position. Win or lose, if this match happens, his name will be forever linked with one of the greatest of all time. That's the kind of spotlight that can make a superstar. But it can also expose them if they're not ready. This challenge represents something bigger than just one match. It's about the new generation stepping up and saying, "We're ready." It's about pushing boundaries and taking risks. It's about writing the next chapter in wrestling history. Over the coming weeks, we'll be watching closely for any response from The Undertaker. We'll be monitoring Bron Breakker's next moves. And you better believe we'll be breaking down every development right here on Wrestlingverse. Wrestlingverse family, this is the kind of moment that reminds us why we love professional wrestling. Whether you think Bron Breakker is brave or crazy, you can't deny that he's got everyone talking. This is the kind of bold, fearless attitude that creates legends. And regardless of what happens next, Bron has shown that he's not afraid to aim for the absolute top. So what do you think? Should The Undertaker accept this challenge? Does Bron Breakker have what it takes to face the dead man in a cage with no rules? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear from every single one of you. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to Wrestlingverse for all the latest wrestling news, analysis, and breakdowns. Hit that notification bell so you never miss when we cover the biggest moments in wrestling. The wrestling world is buzzing right now, and this is just the beginning. Bron Breakker has thrown down the gauntlet in the most brutal way possible. Now we wait to see if The Undertaker picks it up. Until next time, Wrestlingverse family, keep that wrestling passion alive, stay respectful, and remember, in this business, anything is possible. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace. Video description suggestions. Bron Breakker just sent a brutal message to The Undertaker challenging him to a one-on-one steel cage match with no rules. Is this the most impossible challenge in wrestling history? We break down everything you need to know about this shocking callout. Bell subscribe for more wrestling content. Thumbs up like if you're excited about this potential match. Speech balloon comment your thoughts below. Hashtag Bron Breakker, hashtag The Undertaker, hashtag wrestling news, hashtag cage match, #Wrestlingverse. Thumbnail suggestions. Split image. Bron Breakker intense face, The Undertaker iconic stare. Steel cage graphic in background. Large text. The impossible challenge. Shocked emoji or exclamation marks. High contrast, bold colors. Notes for creator. Use dynamic music that builds tension, royalty free only. Include relevant graphics and on-screen text for emphasis. Maintain high energy throughout delivery. Very vocal tone to keep engagement. Consider adding timestamps in video for easier navigation. This script avoids any copyrighted content, actual footage claims, or specific promotional material. All content is original analysis and commentary.